Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the No ID podcast. I have here creative, podcast host, owner of Design Your Dream Girl. She has an AVN nominated podcast called The Spicy Spectrum. I'm a fan of her work, and I don't care who notices or cares. But when you see her work, you're definitely gonna be like, okay, she's got juice and she's got gas. And I hate to sound creepy like that, but the one and only PepperKat. How you doing today, Miss PepperKat?
Well, how's your day going? Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on. My day is going pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Let's just get into it. I told you earlier when before we even started recording, I came across your page on Twitter or X to some people, and I was like, okay, let's podcast, Spicy Spectrum, nice content. It is not the reason I'm saying nice content because I believe some people don't put a lot of effort into the content anymore.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's like, oh yeah, I do this on Twitter and boom, here's 15 seconds. Subscribe.
Yeah.
But let's just get right into it. Who is PepperKat and how did you get your start?
Yeah, so I'm PepperKat, and I've been doing adult entertainment for about 3 years, going on 4 in June. And I am the founder of Design Your Dream Girl. It's basically a human experience with me where I help to bring my customers' fantasies to life through camming, video calls. It's a customized experience that I founded last year. And I also am a phone sex operator. I have OnlyFans. I make porn on clip sites. And PepperKat came from, I used to do pet play as a cat. I don't do it as much. I used to do cosplay where I acted like a cat. So that's the cat. And then Pepper, just ebony brown. So PepperKat. But I still do cosplay here and there, but that's how I got my name. Yeah, and that's basically a summary. I used to be a news producer. So I have a interesting background, and I transitioned into adult entertainment, and now here I am.
Got you. So what made you transition from being in the news to the adult industry? What was the backstory behind that?
Yeah, so I was a news producer for about 3 years. I enjoyed it, but the pay wasn't that great. And I wanted to own my own content and have more of a creative say in what I do. And I also wanted to earn more money. And adult entertainment, it allows you to be financially flexible. I wanted to travel and not just be stuck in an office. And I wanted to earn more money and just have a more flexible life where I was not under a company. And so I decided to break free. I did indulge in a little bit of camming and selling panties when I was a news producer. And I saw how much money I was making, and I was like, oh, I can actually do this full time. And so I quit my job, and here I am.
Okay, yeah, selling panties. Okay, all right. Do men sell boxers? I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Probably.
Be some of the crustiest boxers coming through the UPS. I'm just kidding.
Some people like crusty panties and crusty underwear. So
really, I've seen so many things, like online. Like I interviewed a young lady who did scat.
Oh yeah.
It's just no judgment. And I was like, what is like, I'm just thinking scat is like music or something. She's like, no, that's this poop.
Chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate. Were you nervous at first when you started, transitioning from being a news producer to into the adult industry?
When I did phone sex, I was a little bit more comfortable because people didn't see me. They just heard my voice. I was skeptical that somebody would pick up on my voice. But I was pretty comfortable doing phone sex. And then they started to ask if they could see me on camera. And that's when I got a little nervous just because I wasn't sure who I was camming with, if someone would recognize me from somewhere. But then the money was rolling in, and I was like, I don't care. So I didn't really care at that point. But yeah, I was nervous, and I still get nervous doing cam calls or like stage fright with customers. But I mean, for the most part, I'm pretty comfortable with my body and being on cam doing silly things.
Got you.
Yeah.
'Cause I know with like regular phone sex without the face, just the voice,
Hmm.
it takes a lot of imagination
It
and a
does.
lot of patience. So,
Yeah. I would say phone sex is more challenging than camming or OnlyFans, in my opinion. When it comes to the performance part, it takes more, like you said, being creative and being creative with the customers too, because they can't see you and they can hang up if you're not doing something right too. So,
was it like one of those
yeah.
ones where they like charge you per minute? Like,
Hmm. Yeah.
ooh,
Which is
ooh.
pretty nice. I mean, if the person is on there for an hour, which they have been, it stacks up pretty nicely. So,
I, I
yeah.
bet. Well, I'm a comedian. I'm gonna say I got 30 minutes. Okay, in person.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm 36. I don't have that much time to be doing all of that, man. It's
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, people come to me like during lunch break, or they may want to relieve stress prior to a business meeting. I've spoken to famous people, like people who just want to just get off really quickly, or you know,
Yeah.
or
What I
talk.
found in my time is like the FaceTime stuff, or like, cause you got WhatsApp, is
Hmm.
in my opinion more convenient
Hmm.
than, cause
Yeah.
I something depending on what you do for a living. Cause I gotta get up at 5. Depending on what you do for a living, sometimes that stuff is more convenient than actually, all right, setting up something, maybe potentially getting a hotel room, stopping to get condoms or
Yeah.
what. Yeah, it's more
Right.
convenient to do that. Have you
Yeah.
ever have you ever got any like weird requests that you could share if you want to share? If not, I understand.
Yeah, I get something weird every day. Phone sex. Phone sex, most people just confess doing creepy things or bizarre or fantasies. In terms of camming, I get more weird requests or out of the box, like pet play, acting like a dog, barking on camera, um, acting like a cat, or I'm trying peeing. Some guys like pee. Other liquids they like to see out of my mouth. They like it. Um, different types of role plays, like me punching myself or like slapping myself on camera. Not like hurting myself or anything like that, but just pretending that they're punching me or slapping my face, or cosplay, nurses. It's a lot of stuff. Um, yeah, I've done role plays where like people like to pretend like I'm pickling their penis and putting it in a jar and talking about that. Stomping on their balls. They love that. Yeah, it's a lot. Every day is something new. So,
Is there like any request that you be like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and pass, or is it?
hmm
Yeah, you have a few of those.
there was a guy, he wanted me to like stab, and this was on camera, stab my hand with a fork until it bled. I didn't do that. Like I don't do anything that draws blood or that would harm me. Yeah. Some of them like to see or like to that's like their fantasy, like blood. I just don't do that. It's just not worth it. Other than that, I do everything, to be honest. So
I'm about to say, imagine you going to the ER. What happened to your hand?
yeah. Yeah, people yeah, it's mhm.
Yeah. Like when I was watching some of your content, um, it's more effort put in your content, because I don't know what it is, but like OnlyFans has created this illusion where you pretty much set up a camera,
Hmm.
you twerk, or you just fuck, and then like, ooh, that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's like it's no effort into it. I don't know your age or nothing, but I came up in the era when 11 o'clock Cinemax had a 2 hour movie and they had a
Hmm.
plot, a storyline,
Yeah.
music behind it.
Yeah.
So, what's some of your inspiration behind your content that you put out?
Yeah, well, I actually have a background in film, so I was
Mhm.
like, oh, why don't I just integrate, some of my film background and editing? And so I decided to just do something that I didn't see happening, like you said, which I know some people like that. I think more so people buy people's content because of their personalities and stuff like that too. So maybe that's why they like it. But I wanted to add something that I didn't see. I didn't see anyone being creative or just adding more storylines. And so I decided to add music and drama and dildos to pretend like the customer is there with me. And yeah, all of my adult videos are dramatic, and everyone always wants like a part two to some dramatic cheating story or some funny video. Even I've done videos where I've fucked a ghost or an invisible man, and everyone like loves that too. Like those different types of storylines that you don't often see. But yeah, I just wanted to be more creative and make more erotica videos to not only just like fuck on cam, but have a storyline and to connect with my customers too. Yeah. Yeah.
Understood. Yeah,
And
because
they love it. So.
I think like sometimes people get caught up in the money grab, and the reason I'm saying this is because I had a friend that started her OnlyFans. Well, in order to subscribe to her OnlyFans, you had to pay $7, right?
Hmm.
Then when you actually subscribe to the OnlyFans for $7, in order to see anything, you had to pay an additional X, Y, and Z for it. And the clips, the clips was like 30 seconds, maybe a minute, and I'm like, what the fuck are we? What's the $7.99 for? I get you got some stuff that's a little too premium, but then
Yeah.
I'm like, the thing. But you've always seemed pretty fair. I don't know. I don't know. I think you really do have a true craft here. I know it sounds crazy what I'm saying, but I think you have a true art for it. Behind it, is this is this something that you can see yourself doing long term, like
Hmm.
another 10, 20 years from now, or you gonna do a graceful bow out and be like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and make Tubi movies or something? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, well, first I want to address the first comment that you said. It's still a business. So I know some people see it because I know it's like sex and masturbation, but I mean like even like for like some of the sites I have somebody pay $7 and then they have to pay more. So I mean it's still a business at the end of the day. But I mean in terms of me doing this, well, I started my company. I want to expand it, which I don't want to talk more about it until it's finalized, but I do want to expand Design Your Dream Girl and turn that into an actual site where people can actually work on those sites and I take out a percentage. But I don't think I would stop either because the money's too good. And there's not really an age limit. Honestly, the highest earners are the oldest adult entertainers who are in their 40s and 50s. Um, yeah, I mean, I can be a MILF and people will still pay me. Like, I could be an old lady and people who have a fetish for old ebony women will still pay me. I mean, there are women who are in their 60s still doing this and people are paying them. But I may stop, I may not. It all depends on what I feel is right for me, but I definitely want to work behind the scenes and expand my company that I have, but I don't see me stopping camming anytime soon 'cause the money's just too good. Yeah.
Hey, I know. I
Yeah.
respect it. I respect it. I think because to pin back to what you said about old ebony, me personally, where I live at, Pornhub is banned. Like any
Oh
site that
yeah.
has porn in it is done, so we can't look it up. And then the ones that actually are free, I kind of hate how they categorize us. It's like you got ebony, this, and then you got black, this, and I'm like, yo, it's just one fucking category. Do you have any takes on that, or is it like,
Well, so the ebony is black women, and
mm-hmm,
then I think what I don't not entirely sure, but I think black is black men, I believe, or like black couples. Um, the reason why they separate it too, at least from my perspective, is that there's not a lot of us on these sites. So if they were to not have those categories and people were to upload porn, we would just be pushed down because the majority of people on these sites are non-black. And so I actually love having an ebony category because it helps me make more money and people can see my content. Because there's not a lot of Black women on these sites in the first place. And if I didn't have an ebony category, then people would probably not see my content just because people upload on those sites every single day. And if we're not the majority, then our content gets pushed down. So I enjoy having the ebony content. I'm a proud ebony cam model, and I love my fans who love ebony women. So yeah.
respect, respect? Was there any like big inspirations, or anyone that you looked up to in the adult industry that you admire?
Not anyone in particular. I do respect, to be honest, the phone sex operators since that's where I started, like the ones who are OGs, who have been on these sites for years because it takes a lot of creativity to do this. And I think people when they think of adult entertainers or online, they forget the phone sex operators and the first thought are the OnlyFans women, but there are women who have been camming and doing phone sex for years and it takes a lot to do what they do, and I think they paved the way on online for OnlyFans women who have just jumped in and did OnlyFans. But yeah, so
Big
but yeah,
facts.
but no
Big
one in
facts.
particular, but just like the women who've been doing this for years. Yeah.
Does it get catty in your industry? Like not like between everybody, like somebody gets jealous because you're getting more recognition and followers, or is it more like of an encouragement between each other in the adult industry?
I haven't experienced anything catty with me. I know I've seen online like people like go back and forth, or I know I've posted something like on Titty Tuesday, and then somebody else will post like a picture, and it's like, well, don't poach, my potential customers. Like I think that's pretty tacky to post your video or picture under my post or somebody else's post, but I don't really see competition with other people because we all have the same customers, to be honest. Like it's a very small community. One day somebody wants an ebony woman, and then another day that they may buy a video from a blonde hair, blue-eyed woman. Like we all share the same customers anyway, so there's no sense of competing against each other. So.
I've seen that where it's like, all right, it's Titty Tuesday, and I'm
hmm
like, all right, it's Titty Tuesday, and then you'll see some, you're like, oh wow, this is amazing,
Yeah.
and then you go to I saw one so disrespectful. I was like, yo, I would slap
Oh.
whoever. They like saw it, reposted with a quote, and put themselves with their OnlyFans link.
See, yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, it's just lazy. Like, just post your own stuff. Why do you have to comment under people's comments with your booty picture? Like, it's random.
First of all, it's unethical because it's called Titty Tuesday, not
Right.
not Booty Thursday. Okay, save that shit for another day. It's a national holiday on Twitter. I don't know
It
who
is a
started.
national holiday. Miss Miss Be Nasty, she's like the the founder of that.
She's go, go,
Yeah,
go,
she is.
go.
And she hates when people like post under her picture too, if it's not Titty Tuesday. but people just do it, you know.
I think they do it just to poach or just try and get some kind of recognition. Because I'll be
Hmm.
honest with you, one time it was like a thread and it was like
Hmm.
all content creators. Now I knew the person who was doing it. It was all porn. And I was like, okay, cool. And I decided to post a stand up comedy clip underneath of it. Man, I got blocked so hard. I was
Oh,
like, I said, I
see,
tried. I
right?
tried. I was like, I wasn't, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You have such a nice, like, bubbly personality,
Oh,
man.
thank you.
And do you get men that hit on you through like your business, your line of work? Do you even consider some of them, or you just think they're just talking a bunch of bullshit? Like,
A
he's
lot of
just
my
talking.
cousins, I mean, a lot of their compliments are pretty genuine, and I mean, I always appreciate when somebody has genuine compliments.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a couple of customers who fall in love or like get attached. Yeah. They like get, crushes or whatever, but I mean, they know they have to separate the two. Some take it too seriously, like, I'm not your girlfriend. You can pay for me to act like your girlfriend, but yeah, some of them do get attached, especially when I did live camming, like on my free camps, which I don't do as much anymore. People would watch me every day and get attached to me because it's kind of like watching a movie or like your favorite TV show and you have this character that you like on TV. And if you watch it all the time, you end up falling in love and having some fantasy about them. That's not true. So I'll come across that. But yeah, I mean, I've come across customers that I've, like, oh, like he's cute, or he's nice, but I always remember it's about money first. It can't
Money
get caught
first.
up in the customer. Can't get caught up.
It's like
Yeah.
somebody might like, yeah, I was on her stream and I feel like I made an emotional connection.
Hmm. They do. They do
Yeah,
that. Yeah. Gotta be
yeah.
careful.
Yeah, very careful. 'Cause them might be the psycho motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's true.
Mm.
Yeah. Some people get obsessive. They do. And I'll block them and then they'll make another account and then contact me and it's like, calm down.
Mhm. Have you ever got like recognized out in public? Like, man, I just saw your clip.
See, I don't, so the majority of my customers are married. So I always notice like when I go through airports, for example, people may do like a double take, or I've had people stare at me for a long period of time. And I suspect they know who I am, but because a lot of my customers are married, I don't think they would actually come up to me and say, "Hey, I know who you are." But I've kind of picked up that people know who I am when I'm in public, like through like airports or something like that, because obviously these people are from all over the world and I'm sure they've seen me. Like, there's not a lot of ebony women on these sites, and I stick out like a sore thumb. So, and I'm on every single site that you can think of, so I'm sure people have recognized me somewhere. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried it when I was like 18. Um, and that didn't last. For, it's like, not for me, because I couldn't only imagine like I'm in the grocery store or something with my mom, and he's like, "Damn, I just saw you." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm all right, Brody." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, I get it. I get it. I get it. And now you have different avenues, right? So, in my opinion, I call it diversifying your portfolio. So you have your own website, you
Hmm.
have the OnlyFans, the mini clips, the mini vids, but
Hmm.
you also have a podcast as well too. Spicy
Yeah.
Spectrum.
Yeah. Yeah, I started my podcast in 2023. Spicy Spectrum, basically, I talk about sexuality and our d- desires. Most of my listeners are men, so I do gear towards men. And I basically just talk about being open about your fantasies and acknowledging a side of humanity that people like to sweep under the rug. And so I decided to turn that into a podcast and have guests on there to break down our sexual desires. I have adult content creators that come on there, and then I talk about my own perspective about my life as an adult entertainer. Yeah, and it's been going strong, and I was nominated for AVN, which is great because thank you. Yeah, I didn't win, but I am officially an award nominated podcast, which is nice to have too. But yeah, and I have a lot of my customers who listen to my podcast too, and I feel like it's great because they get to see two different sides of me, not just the sexy side, but they also get to see my personality and what I think, and just more of the intellectual side too. Because oftentimes people only see one side of us, and I just wanted to create a platform where I can show different versions beyond my titties and my ass. You know, so
Yeah, because
yeah.
like I watch your threads and your tweets,
Oh
and
yeah.
you're advocating for no judgment here. It's a sexual
Yeah.
fantasy, and I think sex is so taboo, and so people are afraid to talk about it. And if you like sex, cool, but it's then like, oh, you want too much sex, or you want to do too many things, or
Hmm.
you like to eat this and lick this and watch this, and it seemed like everybody's in a fucking judgment. You can cuss up here. I'm sorry, because I'm
Yeah.
getting it off my chest. It's like so many people are in a fucking judgment, but they say that, but their bookmarks have the same shit that they're judging us
Right.
on. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's always the people who are the loudest against what we do who watch our content and buy our videos. It's all shame though. I mean, they're ashamed of who they are and they take it out on the people who make them feel that way because it's I don't know why we're so prude in the US. It's just everyone else is moving well, it's not everyone else, but like places like Australia and Amsterdam, they're very open about it. And we are one of the few countries that are still stuck up about sex. It's just crazy.
We're stuck up about sex. We're stuck up to talk about it.
Yeah, it's
You know
like
what I mean?
childish.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's so stupid. It really is. It's like I had uh one entertainer appear on my podcast, and I
Hmm.
literally just asked, I said, "What? How do you feel about dating?" And she said, "I'll do it. They just got to be comfortable with what I do." And I
Hmm.
was like, "Well, that's not a problem." You know, like I would date somebody in that industry because I'm saying to myself, I just couldn't watch the penetration. Like the videos were already out there, cool, but we're like locked in. They got to. I'll help co-star or something because I can't compete. You know what I mean? I can't do
Hmm.
nothing with that. So I don't know. That's not a
Yeah.
yeah. You could do any other content, but I cannot watch you with another man. It's
Yeah.
just me personally. I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, I think people have the right to have a preference. Like if people don't want to date a sex worker because they don't feel comfortable, then that's their choice. Just like us, we don't have to date certain people either. Everyone has their choice and their limits. So I mean, for me, it's not hard. At least for me, I know some people have said that it's challenging to date. For me, it's not. The guys I've dated have never had a problem with it. But I know some people who do have a problem with that too.
Yeah,
So it's all up to the person.
it is. I think it's all about like the mentality and how you gotta separate the personal from the business.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, which a lot of people have a hard time separating that with us.
And people need to stop being so fucking judgmental and be like, yeah, I like to suck a pinky toe here and there. Just let
Yeah,
this
I
shit go.
mean,
You know what I mean? It is what it is. Well, I keep my interviews kind of short. I only keep them about 30 minutes. Um, but I do value the time and everything. And I wish you nothing but the best of success with everything that you got going on. I'm pretty sure 40 years from now, You're gonna still be blowing up and doing your thing, man. But I appreciate everything. And I was gonna say, uh, do you have any advice to anybody aspiring to get into that into the adult industry and making that content and how they go about it? Or
I think if you go into it, know why and know that it is permanent. When I decided to do it, I knew what I wanted to do and I knew what I was getting myself into. Don't jump in because a partner is pressuring you to fuck on cam, like on a campsite. Think long and hard. And if you want to do it and treat it like a job. Don't treat it like people should just pay you for posting a picture. Like, be consistent and just keep pushing forward. So.
yeah, yeah, it's just like us comedians and podcasters. One day somebody will notice you, and then you just take off.
Yeah.
That's what's up. No, man. And they wanna let me just say this too, and everything. For those that's listening to this podcast, I should have said it prior to this, but I'm saying it right now. Once this clip goes up, be very respectful to Miss PepperKat. She did not have to grace me with the time, the interview, the jewels, the knowledge. I'm giving her flowers. Be very respectful to her. Cause I know, I'm not saying I know them, but I know there's some horny people out there that's gonna try and hit her up. Be respectful. Approach her respectfully. All right, cause we're crossing two different platforms. She's coming on my podcast and my platform. She's sharing her platform with me. So if you either platform, regardless, just be respectful to this young lady right here. Because at the end of the day, be respectful, plain and
Thank you.
simple. And if they want to follow you or see any of your content, how can they see that?
You can visit designyourdreamgirl.com. That has my social media links, my videos, and if you ever want to design your dream girl with me too, you can explore my page and check it out. And if you want to listen to Spicy Spectrum and learn more about the adult industry, you can visit spicyspectrumpodcast.com.
Thank you.
Yep.
And if anybody wants to get in contact with me, you already know No ID Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, Comedian Rome on X and Instagram. I'll put the links down below in the description of the video and on the audio clip. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, rate, and support not just my content, but Miss Pepperkat's content as well too. Just
Thank you.
support the movement that she got building up over there. And I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having me.
Thank you.